big crotch shot. Wake the fuck up, people. Nice. We got a game to talk about.
Wow.
Dun.
You didn't even get in the front of the camera. All they saw was the bottom chin business.
Oh, well, that's a big chin.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to Layman Live.
Layman Live number 460, 469, 420. We're back again.
Exactly right.
Gummies and all sorts of stuff in the interwebs, everybody.
Well, before we do that, let's just take a moment to say hello. Sam, how's life? How's it going?
Life's good.
Yeah?
Yeah, what have I played this week?
Nothing.
Played some ukulele. Guys, I'm trying to learn ukulele.
Oh my god.
Why don't I bring it on the channel?
Sam bought a ukulele.
A ukulele, everybody, okay?
Correct.
And I'm trying to learn that, so that's what I've been doing a little bit this week. We played 0 games this week, apart from Smash and Overwatch. I don't think I've played... Oh, I mean, of course, we played impressions of a particular game that
Correct.
we will get to.
We did play one game. Yep.
But apart from that, we don't have anything in terms of big games that we've played this week.
I played Maneater. That was
huge game. Huge.
Sick, very big game. Much bigger than Cyberpunk, to be honest with you.
What about you, Ralph? What's happening in your life?
Moved house.
You moved house?
Did my back.
Did his back badly?
Oh my god, my back is so sore right now, you don't understand. I can barely walk.
And
I'm
now Ralph-
walking like a penguin.
Ralph is even further from the office, which is going to be a wonderful thing every morning, everybody.
Correct, exactly.
That's okay.
So that was a fun week. Yeah, but Maneater, though, was actually pretty good. I recommend it. It's very repetitive. It's basically like playing an old school Ubisoft game, where you just have a big map with lots of markers on it, and you do the same thing over and over again, but it's fun.
And there's XP boosters and all this kind of stuff.
Oh yeah, that's right. You actually pay. It's like the game's $30, I think, but then you can pay an additional $30 to not have to play any of it. So it's really advanced.
I like
it goes
that.
beyond the Ubisoft mold. You know what I mean?
I like it.
So other than that, though, yep, everything's good. Hope you guys are all doing well out there. Thank you very much for being here. This is Layman Live, where each week we talk about the offcuts of the news, stuff we didn't have time to cover otherwise, and just hang out and chat for an hour. Whatever.
And just whatever. Today we wanted to have a good chunk of the dump. Okay, we wanted to pinch the loaf of the chunk of the dump to a decent amount of it to be Cyberpunk today.
Yes, I agree. But first, what we'll do is...
you want to do the other news
We'll
first?
do the news first. We'll do the news
feel like-
first.
okay, all right.
Well, there's some big breaking news that's happening right now that a lot of people in the chat, I'm sure, are talking about. And that is, it appears as though Dr. Disrespect has been permanently banned from Twitch.
And it's not, and they don't tell us why.
They don't tell us why.
Maybe he's gone into another bathroom in some sort of convention. But that's impossible, right? You put your detective hat on, there is no conventions.
Correct.
So what else?
Or even any bathrooms.
There is no bathroom.
They don't
right now.
exist anymore. They got rid of them in quarantine.
I don't know what's going on here.
So
maybe look.
It is a big. It is. So this, just to be clear. So what do we know? We know that that Dr. Disrespect has definitely been suspended. Okay. Twitch has put out a statement to that effect recently, saying he violated community guidelines, which everyone is subject to, no matter their status.
Yep.
Okay. So they definitely said that. 2 other people, though, have said that it is a permanent ban, and this is Slasher here, who is a known esports commentator, as well as another person who I actually don't have that. I can't find that tweet. Now, I saw it scroll by and then I lost it. Then Kotaku put out an article saying that they have a source close to Twitch who also says that this ban is permanent. So it's not clear exactly what has gone on here. No one knows at this point. No, actually, a few people are like hinting that they know, but they can't say. But yes, it seems as though Dr. Disrespect is down for the count.
Is it like a Jenna Marbles thing where like maybe they've gone through his previous stuff and he's done some
he's
colourful skits or colourful... I don't know. Like,
he's been on this platform. He's been on the platform every day for years and years and years. I don't know, like...
That's what I mean, like, I've watched a little bit of him. I know he's quite, outrageous, but, like, that's why everyone loves him. I don't know if he's said some sketchy things or something, and now people are just coming after him. Like
he's roasted Mixer pretty hard.
Oh, really? Well, he won't be going there.
He won't be going there now.
Anyway.
He's got no backup plan there.
But it doesn't make sense. If this is not something that Twitch really needs to take action on, we don't know yet what that is, but let's just say, for argument's sake, that they never come out with the actual reason.
They will come out with the reason. They have to.
Well, I mean,
they have to.
They haven't yet,
They haven't yet, correct.
Maybe.
They haven't yet.
I would then think, well, this is a silly move for Twitch to not try and secure as many people as possible in this new streaming war that's going to happen now with Facebook. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wonder what Dr. Disrespect is going to do with this. Naturally, he's just going to go to Facebook, right? Or YouTube.
Well, we don't know what he's done, though, so let's be clear. Like,
true.
We have no idea. So, like, maybe, this is some sort of technicality sort of thing, like slap on the wrist and it's whatever, and then he can go somewhere else. Maybe it's more serious than that. That other tweet that I saw did say that it was serious. And I guess if it's a permanent ban from Twitch, it's got to be pretty serious. I mean, people can get away with some serious shit on Twitch, as the chat is attesting to.
Yes.
So for him to get a permanent ban, I don't know. So honestly, though, we have no idea what is happening, so we're not going to pretend to. That story is evolving at the moment. We will keep you updated. If anything breaks in the next hour, we will let you know and see how that goes.
Yes.
So
in terms of the question is, just let us know in terms of some how are we going to do this?
I know when we get to the Cyberpunk block, we'll just ask for some questions. Then we'll just do
okay.
it. So we've only got a half a show here planned, like the second half hour.
No, I was going to say because there's a bit of a lag and all that kind of stuff in terms of questions, but
but that's fine.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah,
okay, cool. Second, Last of Us Part 2.
Yes.
Everyone knows it's been a complete smash out of the park. As someone,
no, it was a failure. Didn't you see the Metacritic, Sam? Last of Us 2, failure.
Complete failure. And
Complete
as
failure.
the top comment shows before we even get to the tweet, Transformers made a lot of money. A lot of people buying.
Hey, Transformers 1 was really good.
And then the rest were absolute garbage, right?
That's true.
Now, okay, so the actual quote is, The Last of Us Part 2 is the UK's fastest selling Sony game on PS4, bigger than the Uncharted 4 launch in boxes sales alone. It's the biggest game launch this year by far, smashing the opening sales of Animal Crossing, and comfortably bigger than its predecessor. There we go.
There was also additional information that came out that this game has sold 4 million copies in a week, which is huge. It actually was also it's the highest selling highest selling game in most countries, including Japan.
What?
Yep, it was crushing it over in
Saudi Arabia. I mean, it's sold heaps there, guys.
Really big over there.
Huge over there.
They're big fans of the messaging, you know.
Yes. And that driving scene, they're like, nah, get out.
That's
nah.
right. I get it. It's a joke about women driving.
There we go.
Very nice.
Very nice. Okay, so
look, that's
good, I guess.
Oh, yeah, I mean, obviously, I think it's one of the things that Alana Pierce said in her video that she did, like the truth behind 10 out of 10 scores and what have you, is that review bombing, and even, like, she didn't say review bombing, she was talking about reviews. Reviews actually don't impact sales. It's a fact, you know? It's nice to think they do. And they do to a certain...
Of course they do to an extent.
To an extent. Don't get me wrong, okay? But it's not like a lot of people say Last of Us 2 is shit, therefore the game is going to not sell at all and it's a commercial flop and whatever else. Like, even Fallout 76 was a success commercially. They made their money back. If even that game can make its money back, then what are we talking about here?
Yeah, look, I think there is certain games that regardless of what people say, people are going to line up for.
Yeah.
Like The Last of Us, like God of War 2. You know what I mean? Like, there's going to be games that people just... it's already etched in their mind that they want to play the next installment. Having said that, there are going to be other games that are plenty of people are going to be on the fence and going, well, I'm going to check the reviews first before I pay $80. So in that regard, I don't know if the idea of review scores don't mean anything.
No, okay. They don't mean it. They're right. They do mean something.
They do, I think. I personally, at least. But look, it is good to see that it has been a success. Because in my eyes, I do feel like it deserved some sort of success.
Sure.
I thought it was a polished game, and sure, a lot of people didn't like the story, whatever. But story aside, I mean, they did put a lot of love and sweat and tears into this thing over the last 7 years. I do believe it does deserve some success.
Sure. Can you believe Donkey liked it? I feel so betrayed.
Donkey man.
He betrayed gamers everywhere by liking The Last of Us.
I don't know what that like ratio is on Donkey. I mean,
it's
Donkey
actually
disliked.
No, it's his most disliked video.
Oh, really?
It had like 78% up.
Oh, wow.
So people really hate it.
I mean, Donkey can do no wrong.
That's not true. Heaps of people hate Donkey's reviews.
No way, man.
Bro, don't even.
What?
Trust me.
How do people hate Donkey?
They hate his reviews. So many people hate his reviews. So
well, they're idiots.
They're like, he's fine as a comedian, but if he ever starts being a critic, he sucks. I'm like, I actually think Donkey's one of the best critics on this whole platform.
Totally. He's able to like just lightly give a solid opinion.
Well, a lot of people say like his opinion isn't solid because it's so biased. It's like, it's his opinion. He's like, he hates JRPGs, so he always roasts them. And so everyone's like, do you hate how he roasts JRPGs? It's like, well, he doesn't.
And he hates Nintendo games. Hates them, guys.
Nintendo. He's very
Always
biased.
gives them
He's
zeros out of
very
10.
biased against Nintendo. He's a very big Microsoft fan though.
Yes,
and his favorite game
and League.
League of Legends, his favorite game. So that's it. But anyway, guys, that's that one. Look, we've also got some super chats here. We want to acknowledge those and say a big hello to all of them.
Guys.
We have Ren Help Weed, £2. We've got Leo Speed Leo. Oof balls. Not what I expected at night. Balls were not what I expected at night.
Oof balls.
All right, dude, you had a bad night then, man.
I don't know what happened.
Tyler
last
Wood
night.
says, "Do you think Cyberpunk will be worth buying for a standard PS4, or do you think it will be downscaled hard? What to expect for next gen?"
That's Cyberpunk questions.
Let's come back to those Cyberpunk questions
Yes.
when we get to that block. Hey guys, the Cyberpunk chat, tossing a coin to my favorite people on YouTube, says Mario. Welcome back, lads. Nice to be here. Then there's a Cyberpunk question. We'll come back to that.
Yes.
Replaying Nier Automata recently, and I need to give a late thank you, says Silent Earth, to Ralph for his review. Without it, I never would have given the game a chance. Very pleased to hear that.
Is that
Thank
like
you.
the review people come back to more than ever for you? Like, what is the one?
That is the one of all the reviews that people are like, hey man, I just want to say thanks for this.
Even more like Outer Wilds and shit?
I've never
you
reviewed
never
that.
did one. That's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah,
the only other your game.
The only other one was Warframe. People still go back to that.
What about that Galactica one?
Deep Rock? Oh yeah, but that's more recent.
That's more recent.
Yeah. But like, yeah, I still get messages from like the Warframe video. Except it's changed. Warframe's changed a lot now. Like it's, well, not changed, but like it's kind of fallen out of favor. A lot of people have fallen out of love with Warframe.
Yeah.
So, but I don't know. I'm not close enough to the game to say. So Mario is here. He says normally watch Layman tomorrow morning. Just wanted to stop in and say thanks. I've been watching a lot of your videos and they've been helping you getting through a rough time. Sorry to hear that you're having a rough time, but thank you very much for watching, friend. Good to have you with us. So we'll come back to that one. He says, Bruce is here. Love you, lads. Come to South UK and I'll hook you up. Thank you very much, Bruce.
We'll be there.
We've got okay, we've got another Cyberpunk question. And what's this? With Mortal Mercenary says, with it being a PlayStation title, I wonder how the trophies will reflect the actual
Cyberpunk.
player numbers versus purchase numbers. No, that's on.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think there's any conspiracy. I don't think Sony is lying about its sales numbers, and it comes out they actually only sold 4 copies. Sorry, we accidentally added like 6 zeros to that. We didn't mean to do that. It was a typo. You know?
I highly doubt that this hasn't done well.
For sure.
You know?
For sure.
But apart from that, speaking of games that are probably going to do well, maybe. Actually,
Maybe.
I mean, I'm not really a fan of Crash Bandicoot, if I was to be real. I mean, a lot of people love this, right? Okay, so let's give some context. Now, a few weeks ago...
We can't play sound, by the way, because it's got copyright music in it, so you're just going to have to...
Sonic trailer. God, that was annoying.
Yeah.
So a few weeks ago, it was the worst kept secret that there was going to be a new Crash Bandicoot game called It's About Time. And then the developer was like, guys, we've got something to show you soon. And was like, it's about time, right? It's about time. So, of course, they come out with the new trailer of the latest Banjo. The latest Banjo.
Oh my God, our hopes. My heart.
It's about time. So, everyone is very excited now for Banjo. It's about time.
Look, I saw this trailer, and I actually think this looks pretty cool. I was actually quite impressed by this. It has lots of personality. It still looks like a Crash Bandicoot game where you're doing the running forward thing.
Yeah, I just feel like that's so dated.
Yeah.
Look, I think that it could be cool. I don't know if certain genres or certain ways of playing stand the test of time. I don't know if I want to do this for 10 hours. Maybe I want to do this for an hour, you know?
Maybe.
But, I mean, I don't know.
It's like running sideways in like Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze was incredible. Why wouldn't running forward be equally potentially incredible?
I also played Tropical Freeze, and I only played like maybe an hour or two.
It's because you're bad at it and you couldn't handle it.
And I was like, no, I don't want to play this anymore.
Correct.
Like, I just got over it, I guess, you know. But then having said that, there are games like Link to the Past or whatever it is, the remake they did last year in September.
Sure.
I played that in Japan. It was such a good thing to play on the plane. And that was great. It didn't feel like the bird's eye view was actually dated. It felt fantastic. So there's definitely games that you can still do 20 years later and still feels good. Hopefully, it's going to be feeling good.
Sure.
Apart from that,
Marvel, Avengers. Now, here's a game that people are struggling to get excited about.
And we've played this game.
Okay. Look, I feel like, as we've said before, if you just want to beat up some random faceless goons for 15 hours, smashing the square button, you'll probably have a good time with this.
It's already out. A game like that's already out. The Marvel Alliance on Switch, you know.
Also, The Last of Us 2. Just smash the square button.
Yeah, of course.
It's the same.
Yes,
it's actually the same game. So, but basically, whether or not this stands the test of time as a long-tail live service game, I really have to smash the X button on that one for the doubt.
Yes,
oh, bam!
nice.
I'm really this is rolling well.
Really nice.
Thank you very much.
Really nice.
But they actually did announce today that it is coming to PS4 and
PS4,
PS5,
There we go.
and Xbox Series X. And you will get free upgrades to those, which is nice. So
I feel like every game is doing that now.
Well, not yet. I mean, first of all, EA have their own shitty system for this, where they kind of like get to rip you off, and there's only a certain window you can redeem the upgrade and whatever else.
I think it's 6 months.
They did extend it. It was originally 3 months, and they did extend it.
Look, EA bad, but I mean, if they are extending it, that's good. But I do think there is a general trend now in the industry set by Xbox. I do feel now maybe these other companies had already had this plan, but I do feel like Xbox was first out of the gate to do this whole smart delivery. Terrible name.
Terrible.
You know,
Smart delivery, dumb name.
Dumb name. I do think that maybe we would have seen a different climate if Xbox wasn't such a major player and came out first with like, guys, all first-party titles are going to cross over. Then we saw, who was after that? It wasn't Sony. Cyberpunk said it. Other people started saying it. So I feel like there's this trend, this wave that started. But it is good to see.
Yeah.
But back on this game, we played this for a few hours, and this is
No,
several
we didn't play a
months
few
ago.
hours. I reckon we played a total of like an hour.
I think we played 2, right?
No, we were at the booth and then we went behind into that.
We went down a private room.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The VIP.
We went down a private room.
That's right. We got the VIP treatment.
And look, I am very worried a little bit about this game because I think it was fun a little bit, but there was serious problems with it, I thought. And to sit there and try and play this thing for 40 hours based on the combat system, it really felt like a PS1 game.
Oh, that's so harsh. I mean,
But
I don't agree with that. I don't think there were lots of problems with it. I just think it wasn't like there's. It's one thing to say there were problems. It's another thing to say it just wasn't that great. I just don't think it was that great.
I think if something is not inherently fun, you've got a problem on your hands with a game. I remember when we did this actual review several months ago and we talked about it, I think my opinion was slightly different. I think I was a bit more softer on it. But as I've thought more about it, I'm like, I'm not excited for that game. I don't really want to play it.
Yeah.
But I mean, we'll play it, but...
A lot of people are feeling that way. A lot of people are just really struggling to get hyped about it. So... yeah, I don't know. Look, I wish them all the best. That studio, you know, they make great games. They're obviously really invested in this for the long term. It would be cool to have an awesome Avengers game. But yeah, as I said, a lot of people are just struggling to get hyped. So, look, we've got other superhero game-related news. And we got Batman, Arkham developer Rocksteady are apparently making a Suicide Squad game.
Well, not just that, too. They've actually put 2 names aside. Now, do you want me to take this?
No, you go.
Okay, I'll take it.
Go on, here we go.
It's all on today.
All right,
okay,
guys.
so everyone. Now there's a lot. Okay, on the internet, it is impossible now to keep anything a secret. So there has been 2 websites now being put aside for this. One of them is called GothamKnightsGame.com and SuicideSquadGame.com. So it looks like these domain names have been registered. I highly doubt we're going to see both games come out at the same time.
No.
Or maybe they're just looking to, of course, put both of these names aside.
No, because there's actually a Batman game in development by that same publisher, but not by the same studio. So it's saying here Gotham Knights refers to the unannounced Batman game, and then Suicide Squad would be the Rocksteady one.
I wonder what it's going to be like. A Suicide Squad game, Suicide Squad movie. Wasn't so well received.
I still haven't seen that movie because everyone says it sucks so badly. I think except Angry Joe. I think he liked it.
Oh, he liked it.
I think he was the only person on the whole internet that liked it. I think. I could be wrong about that.
The point I'm getting at is it's interesting to make IP around something that a lot of people didn't like. You know, like there's so many other superheroes.
The Suicide Squad is more than just... No, like, the movie is
like
not...
The Watchmen. Imagine making a game about The Watchmen, you know? Like, that'd be sick. Because everyone loves that, and there's like a big crowd around that, you know? People would just line up for that shit.
A lot of DC fans love Suicide Squad, though. Like, Suicide Squad's not the movie. It's the comics and, like, all that sort of shit.
I know that, but what I'm saying is because the movie seemed to have such a bad stain now on Suicide Squad, it's interesting. Out of all the superheroes they could choose, they went ahead with this. Anyway, we'll see.
Anyway, we've got some super chats. We've got Hugs from Brazil. Love your content, says Gustavo. Thank you very much. We've got Emil Jensen says, thoughts on the permaban of Dr. Disrespect. We talked about that at the top of the show.
You weren't here at the beginning, man? What the hell?
Don't you dare be late next time, okay? We don't have really specific thoughts because we don't know why he was banned, so we can't really say yet. Sam has inspired me to start a YouTube channel, says the Dregden Project. He says, as it turned out, it's okay to be casual and still have an opinion. That's a lie, by the way. You're not allowed to have an opinion if you're a casual.
Let's face it.
So close the YouTube channel down right now.
Most people on the interwebs about games are casual. So I'm that voice, everybody.
Sam is the everyman.
And I'm mishandling that voice.
That's right. So we've got Forzathon says, hey guys, did you see the Halo Infinite teaser tweet?
Yes.
Looks like a lot of people are excited. I didn't see that, did you?
So it's just, well, from what I saw, maybe there was more to it. It was just like one of those screens, like a futuristic screen showing someone talking and the wavelength. And it sounded like those big... What are those monkey-looking things?
I know what you mean, but I don't remember the name of them.
Those aliens.
Sure. The ones that have the rocket hammers.
Yes. Yep. And were they only in 5?
They were in 3.
Oh, I don't know, right? Who knows? Anyway, that was a very small teaser trailer. I don't think we actually saw any more than that, but it looked like maybe there was going to be a big emphasis on the monkey aliens. On the monkey aliens, everybody.
Monkey aliens, nice.
Okay?
Very, very detailed.
Oh my god, I was wrong.
The second narrator says the Outer Wild. He's playing through the Outer Wilds based on constant praise, really enjoying the evocative mood. Thanks for the recommendation, dude. Wait until you get to the end. That's all I can say.
I'm blown away by how many people on Twitter constantly are like, "This is the game. Play this game." Like,
it is the game. Have you played it?
I played a little bit of it. I got to like the third like world.
Oh yeah, which you can do at any point in time. Take off from your planet, get to the third world.
What I mean is like I explored the. How cool is that tornado one? The gravity just like falls out and you just like floating for a bit.
Yeah, that
is incredible.
That's amazing. Yeah.
Anyway.
Okay, cool. Let's get back to some more news. We've got to get to some Cyberpunk Q&A very soon.
We can roll over a little bit today, unless we don't.
Yeah, we can. Actually, no, we can't.
Yes, that's right.
Yes. So, guys, very quickly, Xbox are still working apparently on another edition of the Xbox Series X. In fact, maybe they're working on more than one. Leaked documents here talk about the idea that there's going to be a second, weaker console that focuses on 1080p or 1440p. There was a new leaked document that made its way to Twitter, including references to this Lockhart console and multiple Project Scarlet consoles.
I mean, multiple Project Scarlet consoles could be, the SAD edition. It could be all that business, you know what I mean?
SAD edition, that's right. Best name ever.
Yeah, best name ever in terms of no disk drive and all that kind of business. But interesting. But look, I do think that they're gearing up. It seems like both consoles are really gearing up for the price drop to be very quite a shock, because for them to already have these in development, they know that there's going to be a big divide between people that can afford this and maybe people that can't afford this. And I think that. For Sony to immediately announce a SAD edition, with no disc, it really says to me that they know that they need to fill the divide there.
Sure.
If they felt like it was correctly not fairly, but like priced in a way that it was competitive, then I think that they would definitely not look to do the discless thing straight away.
No, I agree with that. I do agree with that.
Anyway.
The other thing that I mentioned here is that it could also mean we're going to see multiple editions of Xbox Series X over this generation. The same way that our phones now are sort of upgraded every year incrementally, we might see, not quite as often I'd say, but there has been talk of moving the console model to something closer to that, where you have, even this last generation, we had the PS4 Pro and the Xbox Series, the Xbox One X, that you'd see these kind of incremental upgrades happening. That could be what this talks about as well when they're mentioning multiple Project Scarlet consoles.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be kind of cool to think that a console comes out one day and you can just like take off the back and like you just like put in the new, CPU or like new RAM or whatever, right?
Move the cockroaches out the way, like nestled in there, and they're like, "Oh yeah, it's so warm in here, baby." That's what they do. That's when you open the thing, they're like.
They quickly scramble away.
Yeah, that's it.
Anyway, so that is interesting. But
sorry, go on.
I was just going to say quickly, but we've also seen like the Xbox S edition and the Xbox X, these many future plans, maybe just a weaker version, as we've already heard, and a stronger version than the current one that's already coming out. So that also might be the only thing they're looking like. They're not looking to do incremental things, but just do the current model that they've got right now.
Yep. The other thing that we heard from Xbox is that luckily you don't have to integrate, or they won't be doing Facebook integration into the Xbox Series X. Someone asked here, will Microsoft share my... did I say Facebook already?
No. Yes.
Okay. Will Microsoft share my information stats with Facebook? And Major Nelson, who is from Microsoft, he says, we certainly are not doing that now and have no plans to do that. Says, committed to respecting your privacy and personal information unless a Mixer streamer takes action to ask Microsoft to share data with the platform. No Mixer streamer personal information will be shared. So basically, this is because Microsoft has announced that they're getting into bed with Facebook Gaming as their preferred streaming partner for the next generation. As Mixer died this week, by the way. Huge news that everyone just seems to have automatically forgotten because...
Biggest news of the year? Actually, probably. Seriously, I can't think of another one like a gigantic company went under, like in gaming.
Yeah, all right, fair
anyway.
Enough. That's true. They are saying basically that don't worry, your machine will not be the Facebook Series X. it's going to be like an actual completely separate from that because obviously Facebook sucks. And
I just realised I was like, biggest news of the year? Biggest news in gaming.
Yeah, I was going to say, Sam, there's some serious shit that went down this year. You know?
No. Yeah.
You're like, I don't know about what's going on though. I've been locked inside for 3 months.
I'm like, don't worry about the other stories, guys. This is what matters, okay?
That's right. So,
this is real change.
We've got Steve loves tacos. He says, Layman, I have played Cyberpunk. Who wants to touch me? There you go.
Oh, you played it too?
No, he's saying that.
Yes.
I see. James Walter, thanks for everything you do and for being so handsome. You're welcome.
My pleasure.
Thanks to you too, Sam, he
Thank
says.
you very
Hey, LeMayo, get Rex Sam. So how do we feel about the Steam sale, asks Drew Poole.
Funny you
It
ask
feels
that.
like people online are hating on Steam for this and missing the actual good deals. I've not heard anyone hating on the Steam sale. That's actually a good segue for us because yes, the Steam sale is currently live and you can go and get the discounts. The only thing I've seen people being angry about is that like if you spend $45, you get an $8 saving, right? And some games are priced at like
$49.99.
$44.95. You know what I mean? Just to really like, That's the only thing I've seen people be annoyed about.
But where's the cutoff then? Because if it's 40, people are like, oh, I wanted a game at $39.99. Like, I mean, it's always going to be a problem regardless of what that price.
Yeah, I mean, whatever. So the point is that the Steam sale is now live. I went and bought a whole bunch of stuff that I'll probably never play. That's what I do every Steam sale. I save up my wish list and then I just go and buy it and then I never touch it.
And then I log into Ralph's family share and then I play them.
No, you don't play games. Don't lie, Sam.
It's a lie, guys.
Be honest.
My bad.
Be honest.
5 hours of Cyberpunk really exhausted me.
Yeah. Actually,
I was like, whoa, I need a break. Is anyone else like that? I need a break every 2 hours of like 10 minutes of just doing nothing.
So it's like I've been playing too much good game right now. I just really need a break from this.
I need more of the Fallout 76.
That's right.
All right, so apart from that, speaking of Fallout 76, good segue.
Nice, Sam.
Very
Well played.
Now, we went to QuakeCon a few years ago. We had a good time, okay? And we know that there was a lot of details around Fallout 76. And once that game came out, we were never invited again to QuakeCon.
Never again.
But the good thing is, well, not the good thing, but we aren't getting FOMO this year because QuakeCon is not going ahead. It's going to be called QuakeCon at home. Join us from a global online event taking place August 7th to 9th, including live streams, tournaments, charity fundraising, and a few fun secrets. Stay tuned for more details on the coming weeks. Now, I remember this place to be like an incredible environment for people that just love games in general. So it's not even always about the news that comes out of that. It's like just the gigantic stadium hall of everyone bringing their own custom PCs and standing around talking about games till 4 a.m. Like, it's an amazing space.
Sure.
So regardless of what we think of Bethesda, that's a great event.
Yeah.
You know, it's a shame that it's not going ahead, but it can't.
There's also a few games in development within Bethesda's portfolio at the moment. You've got that Deathloop and Ghostwire Protocol. And we should hear more about that. There's going to be new content for Doom that they're still working on, so we'll probably hear more about that. We're definitely not going to hear anything about Bethesda games, as in Bethesda Game Studios. Stuff
we
like...
could see a Starfield thing. It's been 2 years now.
That game's never coming out, man. I mean, never. It's the Star Citizen, Starfield. It's the whole...
Anything with a star.
It's the vibe.
Star Wars never comes out.
It's the serenity. It's the vibe. The other thing that's also happening is Tokyo Game Show are doing their event, and this one is scheduled for the 23rd to the 27th of September. It's an online event now because obviously, there's no physical event. Tokyo Game Show is usually just a lot of mobile games, and pachinko, and all that sort of stuff.
Ooh.
However, they do have real games there as well. I know that they usually do a big drop for, say, Final Fantasy XIV at this event, so I'll be tuning in for that. Put that in your diaries, people, so you know that it's coming.
And all the weebs will be watching that.
All the weebs will be frothing on it.
Speaking of that, I'm sure they'll also be showing the Pokemon.
Oh, wow. Way to mess with the order of
but
things,
Sam. But I felt
Sam.
like that was smooth there.
Thanks, Sam.
Now, I actually thought... Okay, well, firstly, there is now a Pokemon new game coming out. It looks to be cross between mobile and console, or they're going to be separate, but they're going to be very similar in nature, but you can play them on mobile and console. We don't know much about it yet. All we know is the like ratio isn't that great.
Not good at all.
And I don't understand. I honestly don't understand why, because we don't really know much about this game yet, but a lot of people are already downvoting this. I'm kind of excited about the idea of a Pokemon MOBA. I think it could be... Pokemon could be pretty cool. Like, there's no reason why it couldn't be. Now, if
did you see the Summoner's Rift there? Look at this.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
Look at this.
I mean, it's very unique. I mean, that's never been done before, that particular map. But look, I don't know why this is getting so much hate, but it is getting so much hate.
A lot of people hate this. A lot of people really hate this.
Like, has anyone given any clarification, or just like Pokemon Mobile bad, dislike? Is there a reason behind this yet? It'd be different if they were really showing the monetization.
I think it's sort of like, Diablo Immortal kind of stuff, where it's like, well, you've hyped a Pokemon announcement. We love Pokemon. We want to see more of it. So give us a cool Pokemon game. And then Pokemon's like, don't worry, man, I got you covered. The Pokemon company, they're all like, it's okay, guys, get ready for this. What I got for you, free-to-play, mobile, MOBA Pokemon. How about it, kids?
I hear you. I don't think that the dislike ratio for Diablo Immortal would be so bad if it was mobile and console, which this seems to be at this moment.
It's coming to Switch and mobile devices.
Exactly. So it looks like it's going to be cross something, right? So, again, I feel like if you can get that experience on both consoles, or both mobile and console, or Switch, I'm not vibing why people are hating it. I'm really excited for it, and I'm going against the herd, everybody.
Yeah, look, to be honest with you, I have no problem with this. I think it could be fine. I mean, it could be terrible. It could be fun. I don't have an opinion yet. It's just, like, I'm okay with them trying it.
Yep.
Of course, they're going to be working on other real Pokemon games in the background. I'm sure this is the future of their studio.
Yeah, they just came out with one like 8 months ago.
The exceptional Pokemon Sword and Shield, which everyone really loved. Go and check out my review. It's glowing. I really recommend that product to you. It's very good. Mm-hmm. Speaking of things we recommend, Epic Game Store.
Epic Game Good.
Epic Game Good, guys. Game good. The propaganda continues with Epic Game's free game program. Remember, when they give you something for free, you're the product. Or at least that's what PC Game subreddit tells me, because they hate this shit, okay? There's two free games this week. There's Air, A-E-R. Memories of Old, where apparently you play as a bird. There you go. Take that. And then there's Stranger Things, which apparently is terrible, by the way. Apparently this game is really bad. So there's that. The other thing that is getting...
Looks like a Telltale. Like, is that kind of thing? Like, you walk through it and it's
I think it's like some kind of 8-bit... I don't even know, to be honest. Anyway, whatever. The other thing that you're getting for free is free Cyberpunk. No, I'm joking. Unfortunately not.
Yeah, I didn't know what this was.
It's actually just like screenshots and art assets and all that sort of stuff. So basically, if you go on Good Old Games, they are giving away a kind of like goodies kit for Cyberpunk, which is essentially just a whole bunch of key art, concept art, like wallpapers, all that sort of stuff. You can get that now on GOG.
Look, it's nice, but let's be real. If I put Google search, Cyberpunk photos, I can find that. You know what I mean?
There's actually not a lot of art that has been dumped on the internet before this, by the way. So this is actually pretty good.
Okay, I think it's nice.
Especially for thumbnails.
No. What I'm saying is, I think it's cool. But I think it's interesting. Like, it's a marketing strategy. That's what I'm saying. I love GOG. Love CD Projekt Red. But it's really just... it sounds like a photo dump.
I love GOG, by the way. I love CD Projekt Red.
But just to be clear, it sounds like a photo dump of just like... art dump.
It's exactly what it is.
Is this taking their weekly...
They don't have like a weekly thing like that.
They don't have a weekly
They just do it like on occasion. No, they don't have like a weekly thing. So the other thing is Sean Layden. He is one of the former PlayStation executives. He basically said that we need to move away from the whole like 50-hour AAA game thing, and we need to embrace the 12 to 15-hour AAA game.
Interesting that he said this, because this is just after he's left, everybody. Now, Sean Layden was, I think, the CEO of the American Sony for 25 plus years or something. That's a long time to be a CEO, by the way. They usually move. So he was obviously doing something right, which he was. And he was definitely looking after The Last of Us. It was under his watch, as they say in this article. Now, I agree with that. I think that we are getting... Well, there's two things which he points out. Number one, it's just getting unsustainable to make these gigantic AAA games that go for 50, 60 hours. The money, the funding, the vision, the time. Like, there's a lot to it, We have definitely moved away from this 12 to 15 hour AAA experience. It'd be kind of cool to get back to that. But my question is, are people getting kind of... are people getting now into the mind frame of like, if it's 12 hours, it's not worth $80 kind of thing?
Oh, they've been that way for a long time now. And I think I understand what he's saying here. It would be nice, but I mean, the reality is that it's just, a lot of people really bristle against this. Like, for example, Control from Remedy, which is a very high quality single player. Exactly. That's about 12 to 15 hours long. So many people in my review of that were like, what? This game's only 12 to 15 hours and it's $60? What a ripoff. And it's like...
God of War's about 20 to 22 hours, by the way. Like
it's about 20... Yeah.
Or whatever, right? What I'm saying is, it's not that far off this.
Sure. Look, I think the challenge now is that there are just so many free-to-play games. that are really worth your time. And there's also just there's such a massive backlog of cheap games that you can get now. Plus there's subscription services. It's just a very hard metric to get a studio to produce a 15-hour game and then expect a lot of people to spend $60 on it. I happily spend it. I'm more than happy to spend $60 on a fantastic 12-hour game, but I know a lot of people aren't, because I think those other factors have just changed the economics of the value questions so considerably. So, I mean, look, I would love it if he was right. I would love it if this did happen, but...
Yeah, I feel like in the gaming industry, especially if you go like the Nintendo eStore or whatever, like there's two things that sometimes factor into price. What the game looks like if it's an 8-bit game looking thing, it naturally comes down in price.
Sure.
And number two, how long the game is. Like sometimes that does have an effect on what the price is going to be. Yeah. But I agree with him, and I do think that, do people want to wait 7 years each time for the next installment in games? Like, I'm happy to play The Last of Us, right? If it was it probably would have been better actually, which we've said in our review. If it was shorter, if it was 12 to 15
Dude, so many
hours.
games of this generation would have been so much better. Red Dead would have been better if it was
Totally.
shorter. Last of Us would have been so much better if it was shorter. Days Gone would have been a billion times better if it was shorter.
Yep.
Like, just a lot of games
And a lot
are
of
too
Ubi
long.
games in general.
Oh,
Like,
Ubi games.
You know what I mean? Like,
Christ.
there's this whole, and we saw this with the whole open world experience. It's bigger, so it must be better. And they've kind of stepped away from that now. I'm finding that more and more games aren't thinking bigger open world equals better.
Sure.
But we are seeing that still a little bit, right? And I feel like maybe this is the next frontier of recalibrating. I don't want to feel like I got to sit there for 60 hours. Because I don't want to. I'm not that kind of gamer. I'm just being real. I hate sitting there and playing a single game for 60 hours to get to the end of the game. It just...
And this is why
grains on me.
Sam did not like The Witcher 3.
I haven't finished The Witcher 3 yet. But I will, everybody. Okay?
That right there, ladies and gentlemen, is a lie.
No, but-
that is a lie.
I will get to it. I've just passed the Bloody Baron, alright? So I'm getting to it.
Yeah, that's right.
But
exactly.
look, before we move on, I mean, surely you guys understand that, right? Like, if I know a game's going to be 15 hours, I'm like, okay, Jedi Fallen Order. Perfect, Jedi Fallen Order, that's right. Perfect length for me. I thought, great, 15, 16 tight hours, perfect. Worth every second.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll see.
Yeah. So, look, Tahiti. There's one last story, and that is some very good news. Ghost of Tsushima has gone gold. That means that they are going to be shipping review code very soon. I wonder if we will get one.
I mean, who knows?
After The Last of Us 2, we don't know.
I
will
hope
see.
who
We
knows?
will see. So anyway, guys, that's all the news that we have today. Now we can do some Cyberpunk Q&A. We already have a whole bunch of super chats that we've got saved up for this. So let's get started with some of those. So Tyler Woods asks, do you think Cyberpunk will be worth getting for a standard PS4, or do you think it will be downscaled too hard and I should wait for next gen? So, first of all, we don't know, okay? That's a fact, because we only saw it running on very high-end PC.
Like 2080 Ti.
Correct. Everyone...
Top.
Correct. Every single person who has played it now has played it on that PC hardware only, okay? Whether or not it's going to be worth it on a console, I can't say. And I have my doubts, to be honest with you, because what we saw, man, it was just... Okay, well, first of all, the other thing I should say is, if you can wait for next gen, it's probably going to be good to do that, because at least you'll have ray traced enabled stuff on consoles as well, most likely. If you can wait, sure, but obviously that's pretty hard to do.
I think this is a big ask because
It's a very big ask. A lot of hype, man.
A lot of people want to be part of the hype. Number one, I do think that after watching that, I thought, man, creatively, this is really ambitious, and I don't think they can bottle this all into the current gen, right? Having said that, you'll get a really good snapshot of Cyberpunk in the current gen. You just won't see the full capabilities of it. That does not mean, I think, that you shouldn't, you should wait 6-7 months for it to come out, or even 8 months, I don't know, to come out onto the next gen. I probably am going to be like the many other people that maybe get it on console first, and then when it comes out on next gen, I'll check that out because it's going to be free anyway. Do you know what I'm saying?
Sure.
So it doesn't make sense to not jump on now and then experience again in that higher frame rate with the ray tracing and with the higher graphics, when it does come out to next gen. So I do think it's going to have an effect, but not a huge effect.
Yep. Either way, I just hope it runs and your PlayStation doesn't sound like a jet engine while you're doing it, because that's the big risk. So we've got here, how's movement, vaulting, sprinting, and mounting? Asked Gabriel. The sliding is really cool. Can I say?
Very Call of Duty.
It was, well, I think it was. It felt a bit sort of like Titanfall-esque. Yeah. So the movement I feel feels fantastic. It moves. The walking is a good pace. Running is nice and quick. Has like a little head bob as you're going. The sliding feels fantastic. Vaulting, I
don't think there was a.
No, there is. I remember I vaulted up to reach something. It was fine, nothing special.
I can't remember that. Was that a curated moment? Like,
no, I was doing world exploration.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But look, either way, movement feels fine. I don't think you can have any issues with that. So we've got, here we go. Tossing a coin to my favorite layman, says Mario. Welcome back, lads. Question: from what you've experienced so far, is there a possibility for cyber samurai style gameplay? Well, there's definitely going to be a possibility to do a full melee build with swords and all that sort of stuff. Yes, definitely.
Well, I would say that I feel like the samurai weapon has been either an afterthought or something that they at the beginning did not think was going to be a big emphasis in the game, because when you play with the actual samurai sword, it feels very basic. It doesn't feel very tactile. It doesn't have like a magnetic, like it just doesn't feel like it really locks in when you are fighting with that. It really feels like it's not going to be a big part of the game. The melee in general didn't feel great.
No, that's true. And the developers have said that there's more work to be done on that, right?
Yep.
So they did acknowledge that. But look, yes, definitely that's going to be possible. How good it will be is unclear at this point. So we've got here... So Adam asks, the main Cyberpunk question is, how are the naughty scenes? You know what I'm talking about, Sam.
We didn't see any of those.
We saw some lady climb on top of a dude, and then the scene ended, right? That was all we saw.
I was like, quickly, come on. No! We didn't see any more, but we know that this is going to be quite raunchy. They've already hinted at that and explained many times there's going to be a lot of like characters that you can have some fun with.
Yeah, for sure.
We didn't see Johnny Silverhand.
No, we didn't. Well, I'm looking forward to that moment. So what else we got? Okay, we've got here Jabba Jam asks, are you aware of any options for subduing gore? Some of us weenies are a bit sensitive to decapitation, dismemberment, etc. All of the options were disabled. Not all, but most of the options were disabled in our build. So if there is such an option, we didn't get to see it, and I didn't ask about it.
But there's also the option to, in a lot of the areas, to stealth. I don't know if you're going to be able to stealth the whole game, of course. But you could kill, or you could actually just put them to sleep. Right? There was two options there, right?
There's
exactly.
Lethal and non-lethal.
Exactly. There was lethal and non-lethal. So I think I remember them saying that you could go through this game without killing anybody. Was that this game? Do you remember that?
I remember. Yeah, because we asked that guy about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there is an option to play through this whole game without killing
anybody,
yep.
Right?
Sure.
So in that regard, maybe you won't have to really turn any gore off, because you do have those options.
Anonymous Stars asks, do you guys think this is the game of the generation? I don't know until we play it. We need to play it properly, as in you can't just base a game, like make a judgment like that based on 5 hours. I can tell you though, it's certainly going to be a very good video game. I have no problem telling you.
Yeah, I think this is the final game of the generation, really. There's no other triple
essentially caps off the generation. Yeah.
I think it does. And we don't know. We've only played 5 hours, but this does feel exceptional.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's going to be God of War status. I'm not sure yet, but it could be.
So that's Sam's benchmark right there.
Well, I mean, that really was a gigantic moment in this generation.
For sure. And I think the real test, though, will it match or better The Witcher 3? That's the question. Because, I mean, that's just such an incredibly special game. What else we got? We've got here, there. We've already done that one. That one. Marky Mint just gave us a poop emoji. Thank you, Mark.
Thank you.
Okay. Thick Boy says, Jimmy, how much... excuse me. Okay.
Good question. Thank you.
How much are the Witcher 3 questing systems bleeding over into Cyberpunk? Will we see random bounty quests turn into epic story with legendary gear, or just things to do?
Well, I was going to say, we didn't get to do side quests yet, because it seems like the beginning of the game really wants you to follow the main story, because the level gating is, I think throughout the 5 hours we got to like level 5, level 6. And the first side quest was about level 9.
Yeah.
So we didn't get to experience that, but I feel like, look, I mean, if they felt like they had a winner with Witcher side quests, maybe they would implement that again.
Yeah, well, there's definitely going to be 3 layers of quests. There's main quests, which are like the campaign or whatever. There's side quests, which are kind of structured narrative, whatever else. And then there's your actual like open world, hey, go and kill a bounty target, go and do this thing. Whether or not those quests kind of evolve into something else, I don't know. But that's all we saw so far. Yep. So did either of you play as the female V, and what was the was the voice actress the same as for the 2018 demo? She's being cagey about answering. You know what? I don't remember paying close. We did see that. Yep. Because we were like comparing voice lines when we were creating characters. I don't remember comparing or like I can't remember, to be honest with you, if it's the same voice as before. So, sorry, can't say.
And she could just still be under NDA or something. That may be the reason she's not talking about it.
Pulse says, Layman Gaming, is there a muscle slide character customization in Cyberpunk, wall running, bullet deflecting, katana, jetpacks, full body armor?
Okay, well, let's just set that from the back, because I want to finish on the customization.
Sure.
So, full body armor, yes, there's a few things you can wear, right?
Lots of clothes you can
Lots
wear.
of clothes.
Yeah. There's like hats, jackets, pants, shirt. I think that's it. Yeah.
Yes, and there was also like 3 different weapons that you can actually put on.
Plus mods as well. Implants.
Implants. It seems like there's going to be like maybe a pistol, a semi-automatic, and maybe like a heavy weapon or something. I'm guessing that's the 3. And then what was the other questions to that?
Are you going to be able to deflect bullets? I don't know, actually.
You couldn't do that with katana. I tried that.
No, that's true, actually. You're right. We did.
I tried that. You could not do that.
Yeah, maybe later on there's a perk that lets you do that. That would be pretty sick.
Yeah.
But yeah, from what we saw, no. Will there be wall running? There's definitely wall hanging. I don't know if there's going to be
I didn't see wall running.
Wall running, yeah. Wall hanging for sure.
But the customization. Yeah. That is huge. I don't think I've ever seen customization like this in a game. From teeth to teeth color to, everything. Nails, nail color to dong size, okay? Now,
dong out!
There was definitely dong out.
That's right. There was big dong out. There's also options for little dong out.
You can have little dong, okay?
That's right.
So, it was interesting to see how much you could actually do with that. But, I mean, as you said in your review, which sucks, of course, you could not do a slider. There's no slider there. There's no like, I want to make the nose this big. It's more like there's 10 or 5 different options to do each area of the nose and whatever.
And then we had Guy Emu also asked about wall running, so that's answered as well. Thank you, Guy. Is there a colorblind mode, says Cypher, or is UI color customizable? Again, the options weren't available to us. I would be really surprised if they don't ship a colorblind mode with this. A game of this scale, I'm sure they'll have it.
I feel like
or they'll patch it in, you know?
Every big AAA game now does that.
Yeah, for sure. So hopefully, my friend, yes, fingers crossed, but again, we don't know. In Cyberpunk asks Drake, do you use the wiener slider during character creation? Yes, we did.
We certainly did. We had a lot of fun.
We gave it a good... we played for 5 hours, and I think probably 4.5 hours was spent on the dong slider.
It really is important.
It is.
As Abraham Lincoln says, if you're going to cut a tree down, you sharpen the axe for a few hours. I don't know what it is. But if you're going to play the game, make sure the dong is right. The size is right. That's where I'm trying to go with that.
Exactly right. Skill system. So Som Dick Nag asks, skill system, any specifics you remember? So the way it works with the progression is that you have about 6 core stats, and they determine the overall framework of your build. Okay? They will actually determine how powerful your perks are within that tree, for example. So if there's one that relates to reflexes, that gives you increased critical chance. I'm guessing here, by the way, now, because we don't remember exactly all the perks are in there. Yeah. There's tons, right? But let's say that there's like a handgun perk in the reflexes stat, okay? And there's going to be like 30 other perks within the reflexes stat, but let's say there's one for handguns that increases reload time after you get a headshot or something. This is totally made up, by the way. The efficacy or the power of that perk will increase based upon how high your reflex stat is, okay? So it's kind of like putting more points into something allows you to put further points into perks, and allows you to make those perks more powerful. And then obviously you get to the itemization stuff where everything you wear has stats on it, and you can put mod slots in it to change it. There's where all the weapons that we saw, by the way, had different types of elemental damage associated with them as well. And that was from the very start. Like literally the starter pistol had like poison damage or something, and another one had a different type of damage. So it's not like that comes later on at the end game or whatever. Straight away you start feeling the impact of these systems.
I was blown away by how many different options and customization you could do with your own skill trees and stuff. to the point where I was like, well, this is like too much, man. Like, it was good. Like, I'm not saying it's bad. Like, but there is so much there. I really, when I was playing it, I thought to myself, maybe it would have been better to like level gate it, so like it's a bit easier to understand piece by piece. But it just seems like at the very beginning,
Yeah, it's just totally open.
So much stuff to just kind of take in, understand. And there was just so many skill trees to like look at and figure. It would have been much better, I think, if they kind of gave you a path that you have to unlock things, and then slowly but surely you understand what those perks are before you unlock them. Maybe they're going to do that in the future, but there was just so much.
Someone asked, is there cooch optimization?
Cooch optimization?
No, customization, sorry. There's only one type of vagina. I'll tell you that.
Maybe. Well, is there?
No, there is. There is only one.
Oh, in the actual thing.
In the customization options, right?
Well, that sucks. Okay.
So SB asked, most unexpected, surprising thing for the demo. I would say I was not ready for how good this game looks in the flesh. I really wasn't. Like, you'd seen trailers and you're like, wow, that looks really good. But when you're actually playing the game and you can just walk up to anything and look at anything you want to look at, it's remarkable. Like, it's utterly remarkable how much detail has gone into every single part of this game, including this lady who's become a bit of a favorite.
Totally,
right? Everyone's like,
perfect moment.
Can you do it? Is there romance options? Please tell me there's Judy romance options.
Yes.
We don't know if there's Judy romance options.
Oh no, I think they've confirmed there is.
But like for Judy though, there's romance option, but for her specifically.
I thought I saw Twitter that they confirmed.
Oh really? There we go. Everyone's like, pre-order. I'll take 2, thank you.
Yeah. I thought the most surprising thing for me was probably that you could ride Roach.
Yes. It
took a moment, Ralph.
That was very stunning.
It took a moment. No, I think the most surprising thing was definitely how nice the car experience felt. But
I've heard some people didn't like it. Some of the other
really?
I was like, how could you not like these mechanics? They feel great.
Yeah, I thought it was very good. I thought it was really good.
Yep, no. Can you customize the color of your cyberware? Asks Red Tango. Yes, you can. You will see. Well, maybe not customize it, but there are different options for cyberware, and then they have different colors. Whether or not, so I'm not sure if color and type is linked, or I don't think you can change the color of it independently from memory. But again, there's a lot to remember, so I might have that wrong.
And just quickly, what was your least enjoyable thing? By far, this.
This was the worst part of it.
Guys, prepare for the Detroit, but like shitty version. I've got to be real. It just. There's this.
I think it's too hard to judge it like right now definitively. I will tell you it's not good. Like, we didn't have fun with it, but maybe it's just because we didn't understand it. It wasn't explained to us clearly. Maybe this gets way better when we're like really, 100%, when we're really used to it. But,
I know we're memeing up a bit, like, be prepared for how bad it is. But, like, we played two different separate times that this kind of was implemented. It was not the strongest part of the game. Personally...
It was definitely the weakest part of the game.
Exactly. Well, apart from the hacking, which wasn't also... it wasn't our favourite thing either. But there's this weird Detroit thing where you have to watch things back and whatever. That wasn't the best.
Yeah, I didn't have a lot of fun with that.
No.
So, guys, we'll keep going here. We've got... how accessible are the various buildings, asks Absi. So, you can't just walk into any building you see. I'm trying to think about whether or not there were any... We can walk into some alleyways. I can't remember seeing any doors and walking into them as I was exploring the city.
I definitely tried to walk in. Remember that boss battle that I walked in?
We tried to walk into a door and there was no door there.
Yes.
We had to go into an alleyway to get to this boss battle thing. I'm going to guess it's something like GTA where kind of you can't really walk inside stuff unless you're meant to be going in there for a quest or whatever, right? Yeah. That's from what I saw, but again, we don't know. Maybe just an aside,
I don't know if we've spoken about how big the map is. The map is
map is
huge,
big, man.
It's probably like GTA. I don't think it's like. I think GTA has gotten bigger over time. It feels like GTA like Vice City or something. Like, it's big, but it's not like
I think
absolutely gigantic.
I've heard this like, it's the same size as the Witcher 3 map, and it's like, okay. Witcher 3 map's broken into different parts.
Hub worlds and shit.
Yeah, I don't know how you piece those together or whatever. I can't offer a definitive comparison on how big Night City is. All I can tell you is...
It felt sizable.
It felt sizable. It felt incredibly dense. I don't really care about how big a space is, by the way. Like, I think that's a shitty metric. What I'm interested in is, like,
How dense
it is, how interesting it is. You know, I'd rather get to know the streets. You know, I don't like for example, when GTA started having like multiple cities and stuff, I didn't enjoy that anywhere near as much as like the originals 3 and Vice City, because I remembered where to turn left and right and all that sort of shit in those games, because I got to know the city streets so well. That's what I like, you know. So hopefully they get the balance right, and that gives us plenty of space to explore without being too much and just meaningless filler, you know. Yep. So, what do we got? Hey, you didn't finish my last super chat. The Mantis Blades are a free one-shot kill, or are there some restrictions? We did not have access to Mantis Blades at our point in the demo. Sorry, I couldn't answer your question on that one. So, what's the leveling system like? Asked Gustavo. Is it like Elder Scrolls, for example, where it levels up based on how much you use that skill? Weapons are like that.
There is a mastery to that.
There is a mastery to weapons, so the more you use a handgun, the more proficient you become with handguns. However, if you are wanting to level up hacking, for example,
I think it's just a level up. Like you just level up, and then you can put your things into skill trees.
Correct. Exactly right. So, yep. We've got... Who are we missing here? How many people were there? So, what's this? Sandop asked, how many people were there? Where was it? Can't believe Joe missed out. Did the controls feel console port-ish? Are PC peeps second-class citizens again?
Didn't know.
No, I mean, first of all, keyboard and mouse, there's no way these guys aren't going to get keyboard and mouse right. It's a first-person shooter. Like, it's not complicated to get that correct. If it was a third-person, like, melee game, I'd say, yeah, we really need to worry about, keyboard and mouse controllers. But first-person shooters made for keyboard and mouse. So I'm sure that's going to be fine. I actually really enjoyed playing on a controller, by the way. Like, it just
Auto
really
aim
liked it.
Was so much.
It made me feel like maybe I want to plug my computer into my TV, sit on my couch, and play this. It made me feel that way because the controls I thought were just so good.
Yeah,
so, yeah.
I agree with that.
How interesting are the characters, says Nick. He says, are the characters and NPCs in Cyberpunk? They're like the standout feature for me, personally.
100%.
You wait until you see all these characters. Just the way they look, the way they talk, everything. It's incredible. Absolutely incredible.
You know, I think the only thing about Rage 2 that was really cool was like how colourful and interesting the characters aesthetically looked, you know? It feels like Cyberpunk has like doubled and tripled how cool and interesting those characters look. And even like NPCs that you just walk past, like there's just so much detail into everyone. It's the most realised people I've ever seen in a game.
For sure.
Hands down.
For sure. We've also got a question here. It says, CD Projekt Red said... Sinister Sinner asks, weapon proficiency. It improves with usage. Could it be melee felt bad because you had very low skills with melee sword? I mean, maybe. I don't think so, though. I feel like the mechanics would not change, but then you would be more efficient in terms of damage. But that's a guess. Maybe if we're leveling up, you do get access to new animations and new moves. I don't know, though. But all I will say is that CD Projekt Red themselves have said, we are not satisfied with melee. So they will change that. Yep. So, Monkey Man says, would you recommend getting it for GeForce on a bad PC or buy it on a standard PS4? That's a really hard question.
PS4, I think.
I mean, who knows? Like, what's your processor? What's your RAM? Like, you know, what GeForce are you using? There's all sorts of questions that are a bit too tricky to answer that one, man. So, can't really say.
Yeah, I mean,
but if you're in doubt, the console one, at least you know it will work.
That's what I mean. Like, yeah,
that's true. They talked about verticality, says Somdid. Did you see any? So at one point, yes, I was out in the world and I was able to climb some scaffolding that I just saw. Yes. I was like, okay, cool. I can just climb some thing, right? So I definitely saw some verticality, but not a huge amount.
But that had a quest attached to it, actually.
No, that wasn't.
Remember we had to pick up the phone and then he says, I'll meet you.
I don't remember that bit.
Okay,
really?
Different one.
Okay, right.
I didn't see a huge amount of verticality, but I do feel like I hope that we do get to see a lot of on top of buildings and stuff like that.
Sure.
There's also a lot of like flying between places from what we've seen, but that looked like loading time.
Yeah.
So I wonder if we're also going to get like cyberpunk helicopters and shit.
The other thing that some people are also talking about GeForce Now in the chat, right? So a lot of the previewers played this on GeForce Now.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, no, like most previews played it on GeForce Now. The only reason we didn't do that is in Australia, we don't have GeForce Now because we don't have a good fucking internet here. So all those previews were very positive about their GeForce Now experience. If you do not have a high-end PC, GeForce Now is a very good option for this game. A very good option. Because first of all, it will be out on launch as opposed to Stadia, where you need to wait like God knows how long, okay? And secondly, it's already got a good like positive reviews from people who have actually done it. You know, so yeah.
And I think the good thing is they partnered up with Steam. I'm sure Cyberpunk's on Steam, right? Yeah, of course. So you can play the first hour or so and see if your connection is good enough. You know what I'm saying?
Very true.
And then take it back. You know, like you don't actually have to risk much by actually buying it on Steam.
Sure.
So that's a good option. I just wish we had that, man. Like,
yeah, I mean, absolutely. I mean, I'm lucky enough to have a good PC, but it would be fantastic if here in Australia people could do that as well. You know?
Definitely.
We've got BZ. He says, "No bad jokes from me this week. Keep up the good work. Thank you very much, my friend."
You,
Guy Emu asks, "Can you pickpocket people? If you can, I didn't find it.
See that.
Didn't see that, so couldn't say." We've got morning lads from WA, says Jack Og. WA sends us regards. Some cheeky dollary dudes. Have a good weekend. Thank you very much, Jack. Love you, mate. Are there any car vehicle customizations? Says Hex.
I don't know, but I feel like that would be cool, right?
I don't think so. There was nothing in the menu for that, unless there's some kind of garage you go to later that allows you to do that. Then I'm going to say no. But again, we don't know. That's not confirmed.
Look, I mean, you do start out in a garage actually fixing cars with one of the people. So, I mean, that doesn't mean that you get to customize, but hopefully there is some sort of like drive into something like they did for GTA, and you could like do things to your car.
Sure.
It just feels like, because this is so aesthetically like, you know, crazy, I just feel like hopefully we can also make the cars look a bit crazy or customize them too.
Dangerous Vids are asked, did you drift any cars? Yes, we did.
You did.
There is a handbrake and it drifts beautifully.
A for drift? I think it was A.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
Jacelinus
says, he says, how smart was the AI? Did it feel easy to kill enemies or difficult based on how many bullets the enemies can take?
Well, I died a couple of times.
Sam died in the very first room, by the way. That's
not
true.
The first room.
Bro, it was
the boss room I died? Nearly? Did I die there?
You died in the first room.
Where?
I remember how when I'm going into that weird trauma team and the lady in the bathtub and you walk into the first room and you die? And then Sam handed me the controller.
Yeah, that was the first, casual.
Right. So basically, I would say that the stealthing part, the enemies are very blind, right? So we were about 15 feet away from enemies and they're doing the whole like squinting thing where they're like, oh, and they have the exclamation mark above their head that fills up.
There's actually something there that really shows you... another game had something exactly like that.
Assassin's Creed.
Oh, okay. So in that regard, it's pretty easy to traverse a room and probably not get seen.
Sure.
So
are enemies in general dumb? I actually was pretty impressed by how they moved and fought. Like they were definitely taking cover and using cover effectively. Shot. And they were pretty effective in their shots. There are going to be adjustable difficulties in this game, by the way. That was confirmed.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, look, they didn't seem super dumb. I think that was good. What you asked something else I thought was interesting. Oh, they're bullet spongy. So enemies do have levels. If they're a certain level or whatever, you can't just one-shot headshot them. It needs to you need to burn them down, so to speak. Nothing felt bullet spongy though.
Actually, I kind of disagree with that.
Really, you think that felt bullet spongy?
Remember we first walked out and we had to like stop that guy from slapping around his missus? Yeah. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
It took a lot of shooting to kill him. Like 12 bullets, man. That was a lot.
No, I agree. I agree with that. But I mean, I'm not sure what level he was relative to us.
Or maybe that was a moment where we were supposed to like, spend
maybe we're meant to be 5 levels higher or whatever.
Who knows? Yeah, maybe.
And you can scan people to see their level, by the way, if you're out in the open world, so you know who you're about to engage. When you scan people, I don't know if this has been talked about. You can scan people. It shows like their sort of like their stats, their level. It shows, I think, what type they are. I think there's, when it comes to enemies, they have certain like archetypes. I think I remember this. Maybe I'm misremembering this. But yeah, basically scanning stuff is a thing, and you can do it. So that's a thing. Levi Webb, the install size 200 gigabytes. Is this going to break internet on launch? Newsflash, NBN CEO will blame Cyberpunk for 2077 bad internet. We don't know how big the install size for this game is going to be, but it is going to be massive.
Well, I mean, yeah.
Massive.
When Call of Duty is now 88 gigs or whatever it is.
Try 200.
Is it? No.
Yes.
I thought it was 88. Oh, that was the update.
Yeah, the updates are like 80 gigs.
I mean, this game will need its own I mean, maybe the special edition will like have your own terabyte, special edition terabyte.
Sure.
It is going to be huge, I mean, the only thing I can compare this to is maybe GTA 5, but even then, the graphics are far less. I mean, I don't know how big that game is, right? But this is going to be a monster of a game.
Get a hard drive, people. Get it ready.
For sure.
We've got... Hoy asks, hi from Sydney.
Sydney!
Is it confirmed that there is no car customization, but maybe they add it later It is confirmed that there is no car customization,
okay.
but maybe they'll add it in a DLC. Thank you very much, Hoy, for that.
He's telling us now. Thank you.
Raf says for $5, did you guys try out the wall climbing with the arm blades? Also, what was your favorite start?
We didn't see the arm blades.
No, we didn't have them yet.
That's what I mean. Like, we didn't get to see them.
Yeah, later on they were.
Yeah,
because they're a mod that you can add on later on, and that's further in the game. So no, we didn't get to see that. What was our favorite start? My favorite start was the Nomad out in the desert.
That was cool because it was
awesome.
such an aesthetically different experience.
I'd also really like the idea that you start outside of Night City and make your way in. And I guess that kind of felt very... It felt like the right pace for me. Whereas the other ones, it was like you were already right there in the middle of Night City. And it felt like less of a... Did you say pilgrimage?
Yes.
Yeah, like that. Exactly right.
I have to see on my ways now.
Exactly right.
But look, what else?
So we can go for a few more minutes, but then I've got to wrap up because I've got to go home.
Raf's too busy for you guys. Wow.
Right. Yes, you can kill NPCs in a rampage. Grim Morningstar asks, can you have a dong on a female body type? Yes,
you can have a dong with a female voice.
You can have a male-looking dude with a female voice and a vagina.
Yes.
I'm 90% certain that is the case. Yes. I'm pretty sure we played around with that stuff. So go for your life. Hello from Honolulu. It's too freaking hot, says Panda Fox. Dude, I wish I was over in Honolulu right now.
Nice.
It'd be really nice. What else did we miss? What do you guys think? Oh, did you see the anime that they revealed? They're doing a Cyberpunk anime.
A comic.
No, an anime show.
I thought they were doing a comic.
Oh, yeah. They are also doing that, but they're doing an anime show. That's going to be sick.
Yeah.
So, what do we think about CD Projekt Red? They're going to go on and make all the money.
All the money. I wonder
this is going to be like a 10-year product, by the way. Like, between this, the DLCs, the mods that will come out for it afterwards, the online stuff that they haven't even talked about yet.
Incredible. Yeah.
Like, this is going to be a play like the same. I really believe the same way that like Skyrim today is just it continues to live on. This will be one of those games that will continue for 10 years plus. It's just the start for this. So it's going to be really exciting.
I feel like the only thing that's going to hold this, we are going to see multiplayer. And have they given us an understanding of what the multiplayer looks like? Is it just like arena shooting?
Nothing. No, they're not just going to do an arena shooter.
No, well, I don't know because the mechanics felt good. Maybe they were just looking for a deathmatch thing, or maybe they're just like capture the flag or whatever. I don't know. Like, they haven't given us any understanding. Or are they looking to do more of a GTA Online where you get to explore the actual world, with other people? And that seems to, after playing this, that seems like the logical choice because it felt so cool and it'd be great to drive around with your friends in this world.
Can I just say it's so good to just be able to talk about what we experienced without having to think about NDA requirements.
There's nothing like that.
I loved that. Like every other preview event we go to, they're like, you're not allowed to show this, you're not allowed to talk about this feature, don't mention this, don't mention that. And with CD Projekt Red, they're just like, yeah, man, go and talk about whatever. Like, go have fun, you know? Feels really good.
It's a very Sony thing, actually. It is a very Sony thing, everybody.
So Revlin, what was it? Ozan asks, can you flip off people whilst riding laser sharks? Absolutely. That is definitely a confirmed feature. We did that ourselves multiple times. You could. So there's that. We've got some super chats here from Rico. When you shoot people, do their bodies react, or is it like Fallout and they keep running like nothing happened? I really did not like that. It makes my gun feel useless. I can't remember them reacting to specific bullet shots, so I can't remember that. I can't say.
And also, we just missed one before too. Is it possible to ally with corporations?
Gabriel, is it? Yeah, I don't know.
I feel like at the beginning, I don't know if there's a reputation. There is, right? I thought there was.
I can't remember specific faction-based reputations.
Whether
that comes later, I don't know. I don't remember seeing a menu for that either, so I doubt it. But yes.
Yeah.
Kane Late says, Todd, sorry if you answered this, but do we know if we will support modding? CD Projekt Red have said that they will do modding in the future, where that's certainly not going to be at launch, but yes, we can definitely expect something like that.
Are they going to monetize that, I wonder, or if they're just going to let it...
Not CD Projekt Red, no, man. That's not how they roll. That's not their thing, man.
Yeah,
First super chat ever. How are the voice options? How many in comparison to... how many? There's only 2 voices, and
voice options, I think he means like... Oh, do you mean per dialogue choice? Or, he means male or female?
Yeah, there's only 2 options. I would have liked if there was more, but at the same time, there's so much dialogue in this game. I understand why they only went with 2.
It'd be a huge task. And every single time that you would get asked a question, there's always like 2 or 3 different options. which isn't huge, but like they would have had a huge, massive job on their hands to get this all actual voiced.
We've also got what comparisons to Deus Ex. So Deus Ex is the neatest comparison I could think of. I'm a big fan of the Deus Ex franchise, and yeah, this really just felt like Deus Ex on crack, you know what I mean? Like it just was just that kind of vibe, but more intense. Like Deus Ex also is quite slow and quiet. It is a little bit more Blade Runner. This is just way more amped up. This is like Altered Carbon, if anyone's seen that one, the Netflix show and the books. It's kind of that vibe with cross with Deus Ex, and just tons of awesomeness. So yeah. Anyway, guys, I think that's probably time where we should wrap it up, because I got to head off now. I apologize. I got stuff to do after this, so I have to wrap it up. But want to say a big thank you to everyone for being here.
Thank you very much, guys.
We will do more question stuff on Cyberpunk in the lead up to launch. We'll definitely do some other coverage. Hopefully we'll get invited back by CD Projekt Red to another event if they do host one. Don't worry.
We've got some cool things next week.
Do we?
Yeah. Oh, we got some things.
I don't even know what you're talking about now.
Aesthetically, we've got some things. I'm using the word aesthetically today a lot.
Oh, we've got some big news coming this week. Yeah, nothing to do with Cyberpunk, though. To do with...
That was like...
I was like, what? Anyway, guys, thank you so much for being here again. We really appreciate it. Take care of yourselves. Have a great weekend. And we will see you next week. Layman out.